Hello, patrons. I am here to just check in. It is August 9th as I record this in 2023, so I wanted to come in and do a July monthly reflection and connections video. So I've been loving the sun here. It's warm. It's in the mid 80s pretty much all the time now. We are supposed to be getting some record heat this weekend, and I'm going to be meeting my dad and stepmom in Junction City, where they have the Scandinavian Festival every year. And I've never been, even though Junction City is like a half an hour away. So I don't know why I've never gone. But anyway, they're going to go, and we're going to meet them there. Aaliyah's home from Turkey. So that's my big news, I guess. I don't know that I mentioned it on the podcast, but I didn't really go into depth. So he went to visit his mom in Turkey, left June 30th, and was due back July, 18th or something like that. No, not that long. It was supposed to be like 2.5 weeks. And once he got there, he realized that his mom was declining mentally and cognitively, and just not as well as he had expected. So he had to change his ticket and extend his visit to try to get some systems in place that made him more comfortable and made sure that she was being well taken care of. Because she's pretty soon not going to be able to make those decisions herself. And he tried to get power of attorney, but that's really hard to do in Turkey because there are really, really strict elder abuse laws in that country, which is excellent, except for it prevents ease of like family transition. In this case, he just wanted to get like his name on her bank account or put his name on the deed to the house, just so that he could make, just so he could have, a general power of attorney. But that was, that ended up not happening while he was there. But anyway, he was there for like 5 weeks, and that is the longest that either of us have ever been apart from each other. So that was really hard, and it was, kind of depressing for him to be there for both of us, and so it was really, really difficult. And so July wasn't super fun for either of us. And we stayed in contact via FaceTime and texting through WhatsApp. But that was pretty much it. So in terms of my monthly reflection of July, again, I'm looking in my Passion Planner. I'm using the Celestial Blue, and I just found out today that the new 2024 annual planners, the weekly planner that I like using, is coming out, launching in September. So next month, as I record this, I'll be able to pick out my new planner. And I know that seems like an early time. I don't know, it just seems early, like the end of the year isn't here yet, and people are like, what, you're already thinking of your planner for January? But yeah, because, as an author especially too, or as a mom, when you've got kids in school, when you get the kids enrolled in school, you get the school calendar already, so next year, like what the vacations are going to be like, or like when there's special occasions at the school. So I always had 2 planners by the end of the year. By September or October, I usually carried around 2 planners with me as a young mom, because I was always, planning ahead and writing in doctor's appointments and school functions. And now as an author, like I'm speaking at 3 different conferences and a workshop in town here this fall. And I already have my 2024 writing retreat scheduled, and we have some travel already planned for 2024. So I want to get that in the calendar. And right now it's just sort of like written in the margins of this planner. So I always am thinking about the new planner by fall. So anyway, I'm excited about that. I'll be sure to let you know. And I do have a discount code. So you can always find that information by, checking in with me directly through here, or I have a Linktree / Valerie Eson, and that gives you all the links for everything all over the board. It's the best way, I think, probably to get all of the info. Okay, so for July, the most memorable part, as I mentioned, was Ali being gone for the whole month. Yeah, it was sad and strenuous and lonely and difficult. And so what I did with my time, plus, okay, we have 3 dogs, but I was also emergency dog sitting for my best friend whose other dog care fell through like 3 times in a row. So she was having really bad luck with her dog sitter. So I was like, well, just bring him here. So I had 4 dogs to take care of all by myself for about a week or so. And that was hard. I mean, 3 is not really three's, I don't know, I can handle 3. It's a little harder with dog sitting when you have 3, but in terms of like logistics, it's really not that much. I don't know. I can manage it, and I've had 3 dogs for many, many, many years. But adding a 4th, which I didn't think was going to be that big of a deal, really changed the dynamic, and it was a lot harder to manage, these 2 dogs' relationships and these 2 dogs' relationships, and how, I couldn't leave him alone with this one dog, so I had to put him in the crate when I left, and, it was just a little bit more, it was kind of like having a toddler, actually. So I got far less work done that week than I had planned, which didn't bode well for the upcoming deadline for a client job I have. So I'll be working on that a lot this week to try to catch up. But anyway, what I did with my time while Ali was gone, the first 2 weeks, I would say I totally binge watched absolutely everything on all of the platforms that I knew he would not be interested in, all the TV shows and movies, and I started after that working on mindset and manifesting, and I'm really been interested in that for the past couple of months, but in the last 3 weeks or so I've really dived into it, and I'm reading affirmations every day and really trying to keep my vibe up and stay positive, and act as if I already have all the things that I'm trying to manifest. So that's been kind of a new way of thinking. I've always manifested in some small way, but I really feel like going big with it right now, and I'm rethinking some branding, trying to figure out what my special niche is or spin in the coaching world. So I'm kind of doing that and this at the same time, like the thinking about the branding, but also really working on my mindset, money mindset, manifesting mindset. And yeah, so that's kind of where my head has been. The 3 biggest lessons I learned in the past month, one was, and this was brilliant for me. This was like really, really big. And I don't even know how this happened, but I'm so grateful. I think it was a mixture of all of the extra inner work and shadow work I've been doing with this manifesting project, and having a really good conversation with my best friend and that sort of thing. But the most brilliant lesson I learned was, this is going to maybe sound funny, but maybe it'll help you. I am enough, period. I'm a great friend. I'm a great listener. If I don't feel connected to somebody for some reason, it might not be me. I always take on I'm doing it wrong, and maybe it's not about me. Maybe it's them. So I'm good just the way I am. So that was a huge lesson. And I think I finally like cleared that negative limiting belief I have had my whole life about myself, that I just wasn't good enough. So I am good enough. And number 2 lesson, leaning into myself and my eclecticness, my what is the word? I can never say this word. It's eccentric, but eccentricities. And in terms of branding, I feel like maybe if I like sort of lean into what makes me a little bit different will help the people that want that vibe to be attracted to me and find me. So, and that's kind of some of the manifesting I'm doing right now too, is trying to like learn how to be a way that clients will find me more easily. And number 3 is recognizing that, I don't know if this is a lesson or not, but recognizing that the work that I do for authors is of high service, and it's valuable. So having that mindset shift, I think is good, and that's one that I have to keep reminding myself over and over. And let's see, the next question in the planner is just checking in with priorities and, if I'm happy with how I spent my time. And I said yes, mostly. Even without Ali here, I was still able to keep up, watering the garden and walking Usha for her daily maintenance. I never did get to walk her as much as Ali does, but at least I got her outside every day. And I did some basic podcasting work, and I visited my dad and stepmom and friends, and I applied for a grant, and I, focused on that positive thinking and manifesting. So I felt like it was still pretty well-rounded, even though I had this big, change and stress in my life. So mostly I felt good with how the month went. The thing I'm most proud of is applying for that literary grant. I won't know the results until January. I have applied for this grant before. It's a literary arts, Oregon State grant, and haven't received the grant before. So I'm going to just make it a plan to, apply for it as much as I can. With our move to Costa Rica, I wouldn't qualify for it anymore. And even if I applied for it and then moved out of the country, even if I got it that year, I wouldn't be able to accept it because I didn't live in the state anymore. And with Ali's mom's health declining, I don't know if our move to Costa Rica will happen in the fall of 2024 after all. We have some more expenses with her care than we had anticipated, so that might delay our trip. But we're still going to prepare as if it's happening, in the fall next year. And then we'll just wait and see, what we can manage. It all just really depends on what happens. And then investing in my mindset and my business, I'm proud of that. Okay, the difference between the past month and the month before, so between June and July, it was a difficult month because of Ali's absence in July, but I do feel stronger mentally and, sadder but more positive in this, it's kind of a strange dichotomy, but June was all about celebrating Ali. It was kind of a strange shutdown. All June was his 50th birthday celebration, and we traveled and we had parties and everything in June was getting ready for that and then experiencing that, and friends from out of the state and then in July he was completely gone. So it was just kind of strange and unsettling. But like I said, I do feel mentally stronger. Probably because of doing all of the inner work and the manifesting and positivity and stuff. I'm especially grateful to my best friend Tamara for helping me see my worth, and for the cards. I drew a couple of cards while Lee was gone, and one was an animal card, the dragonfly. So he was kind of my guide for the month, and that was special to me for a couple of reasons. Dragonfly has to do with finding that like magical part of yourself and looking inward. So that was really helpful with the branding stuff I've been talking about, but also just finding my inner strength while Ali was gone. And then the other one is this Urban Crow deck that I really like. And it was the ghosts card, and what that meant for me was the ghosts of not feeling good enough and having that like scarcity mindset. Those two things, like those are kind of like ghosts or shadows that overlay some of, my experiences, the filter that I see the world through. And so not allowing those, like when those ghosts come into your life, the card was saying like, don't let them stay too long. So so that was also encouraging to reframe negative limiting beliefs, when one comes in, because we have bad days, where you're just feeling a little more negative and down. And when you can reframe that to, oh, well, yes, I know that's what it feels like now, but it's not going to feel like that always. And here's another way to look at it. And being reminded to just like not catch myself in a downward negative spiral, like catch it before it started going down and reframe it immediately, and then feel better, immediately. So I'm thankful to the cards for that, and for the resources that I've found in the past month in doing my manifesting and positive mindset work. 3 things that I'm going to improve on in the month of August are paying more attention to my client work projects because of the unforeseen occurrence of Ali leaving, being gone for so long, and also taking care of 4 dogs. And so my client work kind of sagged a little bit, and I didn't work on it every day. So I'm having to play catch up now. And so I just want to, just be more mindful of that. Coaching is so much easier because I can just get on Zoom and talk with you. And I do a little bit of like pre-work ahead of time, and then I, make up the notes and create a Google folder to put the video in. And so there's a little bit of after work, but I usually do it like right after the coaching session. So it's kind of like all in one day I can finish it. So that's easy for me. I love it. Coaching is so much fun for me. The editing part, which is one of those like big long projects where you chunk it down little bits at a time, that is harder to keep up with. So I guess owning that's a little embarrassing for me, but yeah, owning that and refocusing on paying more attention to editing clients. Number 2, living and playing in the serene mindset of everything working out better than I could have imagined, and maintaining faith in my vision of being helpful to authors, and helping them feel nurtured and, get their goals met. And then also believing my work is of high service. So those are the 3 things I'm kind of focusing on for the month of August. And 1 out of 10, how I felt overall for this past month was a solid in the middle 5, because, I kind of felt like it just sort of held the line for most of the month, and that's okay. So, and then I looked back at my accomplishments for on my passion roadmap. Let's see, here we go. My passion roadmap. I got to cross some things off. There was a bunch of retreat prep that I finished, so that felt good. And I created a campaign calendar, so I got to cross that off. And yeah, so I'm slowly working on my next year's goals little bits at a time. So I got to cross some of those off too. So this has been a long connections video. I hope that you stayed through all of it and that some of it was useful. And yeah, I just like to feel connected to my patrons and fans, and I'm glad that you're here. And oh, also on a fun, whimsical note, I got a new pair of glasses. So these are my computer glasses. I have so many glasses now, you guys. I have readers that are kind of blue. I don't have them in here. They're like a really pale, almost see-through blue color. They're sort of cat eye, and I only use them for reading. These are my computer glasses. So when I got them, I got way more productive. So, you know, computer glasses for the win. And then these are my new bifocals. I have the little brown cat eye ones too, but I was feeling increasingly uncomfortable not having an extra pair because I've had a couple break in the last couple of years and not have a backup pair, and have had to wear like broken glasses in public before, which is kind of embarrassing. A lot embarrassing. So I really wanted to be able to get a second pair. So this is so now I've got a couple that I can wear. Actually, I really like the variety. I'm big on variety. I like wearing totally different clothes and totally different eyeglasses, and just based on mood, really. Some kind of eclectic dresser, I suppose. I don't really have a style that I wear. I wear like many styles. It just depends on the mood. So I like these glasses. They're nice. All right. Back on the computer glasses, and I will see you next month in the next Connections video. Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye.